Do you believe that life can change because of a simple gesture from someone you don't even know? Imagine working in a simple hotel and, unknowingly, receiving help from one of Hollywood's biggest stars. Today, I'm going to tell you the touching story of Adam Sandler and the maid he helped without expecting anything in return. Go ahead and like, subscribe to the channel, and comment below. Have you ever been helped by someone without even knowing who they were? Let's dive into this inspiring story together. Sofia was a 29-year-old woman, a single mother of a 5-year-old girl, and worked as a maid in a simple hotel in downtown New York. Every day began the same way. She woke up before the sun, hurriedly prepared breakfast, dropped her daughter off at school, and headed to work, where she faced hours of physical effort and few smiles. Among wrinkled sheets, stained carpets, and the constant smell of cleaning products, Sofia carried the weight of supporting her home alone, while her own dreams seemed increasingly distant. That morning, the activity in the hotel was more intense than usual. An important event had filled the rooms, and Sofia was doing her best to keep up with the service. When she arrived at room 304, she took a deep breath. It was yet another one of those standard rooms, with simple furniture, slightly worn curtains, and an unmade bed in the center. Sofia began her routine, changing the sheets, vacuuming the floor, organizing the bathroom. But something caught her attention. On the nightstand, there was a handwritten note on plain paper. Sofia approached and read the words carefully. "Thank you for your work. You make more of a difference than you realize." Next to the note, a $50 bill. She looked around, surprised. That was not common. Who could have left that? Throughout the rest of the day, that gesture kept echoing in Sofia's mind. She wondered, who could this guest be? In the rush of daily life, she hardly noticed people, but something about that note felt special, as if it were a message sent at just the right moment. That night, lying in bed next to her daughter, Sofia felt something different in her chest. For the first time in weeks, she felt valued, even without knowing who had written those words. The hotel routine was exhausting, but perhaps amidst the heavy tasks and long days, there was room for small miracles. And Sofia did not know. But the author of that note was much more than an ordinary guest. He was a man who, with simplicity and humility, was about to transform her life without even revealing who he was. In the following days, Sofia couldn't get that note out of her head. She began to pay more attention to room 304, trying to figure out who was responsible for such an unexpected gesture. The guest seemed to have a discreet pattern. He left early, returned at night, always wearing a simple cap, casual clothes, and a way of walking that conveyed tranquility. He was not like the other hotel guests, who constantly ordered room service, made a mess, or treated the staff as if they were invisible. On the contrary, he always greeted with a slight nod and a shy smile. But Sofia never had the courage to strike up a conversation. One day, while changing towels in the hallway, she saw him up close for the first time. The man looked at her with a calm expression, his eyes serene, and asked in a gentle voice, "Is everything okay here?" Sofia was surprised. Never before had a guest cared to know if she was well. She smiled a bit awkwardly and replied, "Yes, everything's fine. Thank you." He simply nodded, as if it were natural to treat someone with respect. When he walked away, Sofia noticed something intriguing. His face seemed familiar. She thought, "I've seen this man somewhere, but where?" At the end of her shift, Sofia sat in the small staff break room, still thinking about the man from 304. He was different. He seemed like someone who carried stories but didn't care to tell them. Discreet, yet kind. A guest who left simple notes but made a profound impact on someone like her, who spent her days invisible to everyone. That night, lying in bed, Sofia pondered how the simplest things can change someone's day. A smile, a thank you, a note. And she didn't know, but that man who seemed so ordinary was, in fact, Adam Sandler, the Hollywood star who had chosen that simple hotel to hide from the hustle and bustle of fame. To Sofia, however, he was just a man with a generous heart, who saw beyond appearances and offered unknowingly what she needed most, a little hope. The The clock struck 6:30 in the morning when Sofia arrived for another day of work. She felt the weight of her problems, the overdue rent, her daughter's school demanding the outstanding tuition, the electricity and water bills piling up on the kitchen table. The weight seemed to crush her, making the simple act of putting on her uniform almost unbearable. She took a deep breath, fixed her hair, and headed to her shift. Mid-morning, she received an unexpected task. Room 304 needed to be cleaned before schedule. Sofia was already used to tidying that room, but when she opened the door, she noticed something was different. On the neatly made bed, there was a brown envelope with her name handwritten on it. For Sofia. With her heart racing, she opened the envelope. Inside, there was a carefully folded letter and a check with an amount she had never seen in her life. Trembling, she read the words written in simple but firm handwriting. "I don't know your story, but I know that hard work, kindness, and dedication make the world a better place. You are one of those people. I hope this small gesture can help you move forward. Thank you for everything you do, even when unseen." Tears streamed down Sofia's face before she could control them. She looked again at the check and could hardly believe it. It was enough money to pay off all her debts, cover her daughter's school fees, and even save a little for emergencies. She ran down the hallway, searching for the mysterious guest, but when she reached the reception, she received the news. The man from room 304 had checked out just minutes before. Like an angel who passes by, does good, and disappears without a trace. Sofia returned to the room, sat on the edge of the bed, and cried. It wasn't just about the money, but about the message, about the feeling of being seen, remembered, and valued. That day, something inside her changed. The weight of her difficulties felt lighter, and for the first time in a long time, she felt she had a new chance. Little did she know that the man who changed her life was Adam Sandler, the star known by millions, but who, for her, would always be the generous stranger who left a letter and a check, and ignited a spark of hope in her heart. The days passed, but Sofia couldn't forget that gesture. She kept the check like a treasure and, in the silence of the night, read and reread the letter that accompanied the envelope. Something about that handwriting, the way the words were formed, seemed different. Who would be capable of doing something like that without expecting recognition? It was then that, on a Saturday afternoon, she and her daughter were watching television in their living room. The program was about celebrities known for their acts of generosity. Sofia was distracted until suddenly she saw that face on the screen, the smile, the eyes, the simplicity in the way he dressed. Her heart raced. It was him. Adam Sandler was at a charity event, helping children and distributing toys. The reporter's voice spoke about fame, successful movies, million-dollar box offices. But none of that mattered to Sofia. She could only think of the simple man, in a worn cap and loose t-shirt, who occupied room 304 and had left a check and a letter that changed her life. Sofia was in shock. She paused the image, stared at the screen, and everything fell into place. The way he spoke, the shy smile, the kindness. It was Adam Sandler. She didn't know whether to laugh or cry. It was as if the universe had shown that even the biggest stars can be truly human. But what moved her the most was realizing that he never wanted to be recognized. He could have shown up, posed for photos, made a big fuss, but he chose anonymity. Sofia understood that the greatest gift was not the check but the lesson. True kindness doesn't need a stage. Sofia's life changed after that silent encounter. With the money, she managed to pay off her debts, pay for her daughter's education, and even started a small cleaning business on her own. But above all, she changed as a person. She began to look at others with more empathy, to listen more attentively, and to offer help without expecting anything in return. She also decided to share her story. She recorded a simple video, sitting in her living room, telling how a mysterious guest had transformed her life with a simple note and an unexpected check. The video went viral. Thousands of people commented, sharing their own stories of kindness and gratitude. Adam Sandler, when questioned by journalists about the episode, simply smiled and replied, "Life is too short not to help someone when you can." For Sofia, he would always be the man from room 304, the man who saw her, even when the world seemed blind. In the end, she understood that the greatest wealth was not in the money, but in the silent message he left. Be the change you want to. See in the world, even if no one sees it. And for you who are watching now, here's an invitation. Spread kindness wherever you go. Because sometimes the simple act of extending a hand can be what someone needs to start over. If this story touched you, like it, subscribe to the channel, and comment below. Have you ever helped someone without expecting anything in return? I really want to read your story. Until the next video.